you know I mean? What you know I mean? What you know about being down bad? Sleeping in the bando every night, but we ain't had no cash. That boy ain't righteous cause he keep on switching game rads. We running down Draco, send his ass home to the land. I was in that mud with a stick, we used to be sharing pants. I told my brother keep it a brick, but keep a gun in your hand. I told my twin stick to the stick and don't give a nigga a chance. And free my bros in the jam, they locked up in that can. Wish they had another chance. SRT, eat the street, do the dash. I might just smash through your hood, fuck around and crash. That nigga tried it, boy, I know it, that's why I don't put that past. 2BF Tay walk around the hood with a bow and arrow on his back. I'm screaming, bring home, yeah, I'm telling nigga what the fuck crack. I put my bitch inside a penthouse, yeah, you know she a brat. I come through sideways, spinning, put his hood on wax. We been up all night, I swear to God, these glizzies on crack. I'm out on bun right now, I hope my twin them don't stack. That bitch say add her on Clubhouse, tell that bitch I wanna chat. I up the rate, ain't no debate, you can check the numbers on the stats. I'ma keep on matching the gas to the max. What you know about being down bad? Sleeping in the bando every night, but we ain't had no cash. That boy ain't righteous cause he keep on switching games.
Hello guys, welcome to Boxing Blog Center, and please, if you're new to this channel, make sure you click the like and of course the subscribe button right now. So go to the notification bell icon, click it and select all. Certain opinion banker new exclusivity will definitely be notified. We are definitely live. I think my mic is a little bit troublesome as it stands right now. Let me give it a bit of good. Now it's better. Big ups to Kane Samuel. You're too much, brother. How you doing? Good evening, brother. We're gonna be talking about this right here real quick because it is very essential that we do so. So big ups to my brother in the house, Clement. How you doing, bro? What's up with you? How life in California? Are you there, brother?
I'm doing good. I think I have to unmute you for you to hear me.
Yeah, it's better now. You can leave it. You can leave it like this, brother. I understand. So recently Joshua said that he feel like he never got that respect as someone people feared. He said that when he came to the division, it was whack, and he said he thought, I'm gonna come in and take on everyone. I feel like I'm not getting looked at as someone who is a dominant heavyweight, and he went a bit further to say this big Anthony Joshua wins and becomes 3-time, I'ma datch these belts because you gotta learn to respect me as a person. So he's saying that he would just see if he wins. So when he wins, it's not say win. It's not say if. He said when he wins, he's going to dash out the belts, basically throw it in the trash, so people respect him and give him respect deserves. What do you make of Joshua's statement, and Clement? Clement, are you there?
Okay. Well, I think I have to say to leave it on me.
Yeah, don't mute it, bro. Just leave it.
Okay. So, yes, like I said the other time, Anthony Joshua has been the subject of many criticism by boxing experts, fans, and so many people. But one thing you have to understand is that criticism, hatred, and all those sort of stuff come with the environment, comes with the terrain. There are people that are going to hate Anthony Joshua, win, lose or draw, whether he hold the belt or not. Just because of the aforementioned reasons. So, what do I have to say to that? Yes, at this stage of his career, looking at the success he has recorded in his career, Anthony Joshua, if you ask me personally, is not really fighting for the belts. Like I said, people like Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder have become a household name in the boxing scene, you know. So this guy seems to be bigger than the belt at this stage. So they can stage multiple bouts amongst each other without the belt being in line. And it will sell far more than any other person holding the belt in today's boxing world because of the name they have projected into the boxing industry, especially the heavyweight division. However, I tend to believe that Anthony Joshua listens more to his critics than his supporters. Yes, there are noticeable haters of Anthony Joshua, people like Andrew Ward, people like Timothy Bradley, a whole lot of them in America because American perception of toughness is different from the UK. Most America are raised in a tough environment, and they believe when you're fighting at that level of your career, you should have some element of toughness reflected in how you speak, how you do things. That's why people seem to love Tyson Fury, especially in the US, more than Anthony Joshua, because he speaks garbage, he speaks trash, and most time he backs it up in the ring. So people think Anthony Joshua is weak because of the way he portrays himself in the public. Coming from a Nigeria background and living in the UK, a society that's attach much value to respect and decorum. Those are principles to hold on to or to look up to. But it's not like that in America. America is more for like it's more like for the strong. So I think Anthony Joshua in his interview was referring to most of his haters, people who talk shit about him in the US and all that. And say, man, listen, you have to respect me as a man, you know, or rather than respect me because of the belts I hold. So I'm gonna dash these belts. I'm gonna do away with them. I really love to see Anthony Joshua do away with the belts because, for one, I believe at this stage of his career, he's bigger than the belt. The belt tends to even put more pressure on you each time you fight. You're fighting to defend the belt instead of fighting your heart out. You're being cautious. You want to hold back because you are fighting to defend the belt instead of fighting for who you are and what you represent or what you want. So yes, I think the statement to me makes a whole lot of sense. Die the bed, like, really go, throw those beds in the garbage and let everybody on fight. Okay, it's still gonna sell tickets. People are still gonna watch him, but whether they keep winning, that's what it is.
Times, brother, I appreciate your take on this. Now let's talk about a very interesting fight. A fight that we all are gonna have to see on the undercard of Usyk Joshua rematch in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Well, it is no other than Hrgovic versus Zhilei. Both fighters undefeated. You look at the record of Zhilei right here: 24 wins, 19 via knockouts, 0 losses, 1 draw. And you look at the resume of Filip Hrgovic as well: 14 wins, 0 loss, 0 draw. Perfect record, of course, 12 knockouts. So we know who he didn't knock out. But Hrgovic is a promising fighter, and Zhilei is 39 years old. Hrgovic is about, looking right here, 30. So 6 years difference. 9 years difference. Sorry. Bro, 9 years, bro. That's a whole. I know heavyweights don't get hurt, but what do you make of this fight right here? And who are you picking to win this fight?
No, it's gonna be a tough call. Zhilei, I think he has had more fights, more bouts than Philip Hrgovic. He's actually just coming through the rank. But Philip Hrgovic is a strong fighter. He's physically strong, tall, big. He lets his hand go in fights. I watched his last fight; it was quite impressive. And then uh, Daniel, he has seen in many bouts. He has he, he's also an undefeated fighter. I understand that the last time he got dehydrated or what actually happened to him in the bout, and he had to be admitted to the hospital and all that. You know, so I don't know if that's gonna be something. It's gonna be a factor in the fight that will diminish his capacity or his ability to withstand the more physically imposing and young Philip Hrgovic. At the end of the day, it's going to be an interesting fight because these guys are both undefeated. They still have their pride intact. They are going in there to give their best, and may the best man win. If you ask me to put money on it, I would tend to go with Philip Hrgovic because, but though I think Zangeli is a southpaw fighter, but I don't think it's he has so is I don't think it's an incredible southpaw boxer like on the level of people like Usyk or Luis Ortiz. So when you blend that skill with a young, hungry Philip Hrgovic, you'll see has a lot to go, a lot of place to go in his career. I think the determination and the will might just be too much for Zangzili. So I'll be leaning slightly towards Philip Hrgovic to take the win. But we still have to watch the fight and see what happens. May the best man win at the end of the day.
Thanks, brother. I do appreciate it. I think the medical record of Zhilei worries me. We all know he was diagnosed a while back, and yeah. But if he's perfectly okay, I think he gives Philip Hrgovic hell because he's a lefty and he throws hammers. And I think I would say Zhilei would do quite well. Let's say maybe until maybe around 5, he might start losing. He might start gassing out and losing his sharpness. So because you notice, I noticed with a lot of some of his fights that he won via knockout. Some he won as well, via UD and position. He gas us out. Later rounds. I think that will play a part. But if he catches Hrgovic, we don't know how good his chin is. We know he's a very good boxer, but we don't know how strong his chin is. So we'll find out come August 20th in Saudi Arabia. So let's go to Callum Smith. We all know Callum Smith. We know his story. We know everything about Callum Smith. We know he lost to Canelo Alvarez. That's his one loss, and he had a pretty unblemished record before the Canelo loss. And after Canelo loss, he fought Lenin Castillo, whom he knocked out in the second round. Now he's fighting a guy named Matthew Baudelique. I can't say I know anything about this guy. This is actually the first time hearing of him. But he's the number 1 in France. Matthew Baudelique. Number 1 in France. 21 wins, 12 knockouts, and 1 loss. So both fighters have 1 losses on their record. And this guy lost to Dragan Lepai. That was in 2017. While we know Callum Smith lost to Canelo Alvarez in 2020. So, who are you picking for this fight?
I've not watched most of those guys fight. I think I watched briefly Callum Smith against Canelo. But I also understand that Callum Smith won his last fight or his two last fights. You know, he's done impressively. He's performed impressively since his loss to Canelo, and I believe it's going to be a good fight between these two guys. But I'm going to edge towards Callum Smith only because of what I saw from him in the last fight. He won via knockout. Was it in the second round or third round? I can't remember.
It was the second round, bro.
Second round, okay, yeah. So, and it was a very impressive hard knockout. You know, that tells me that he carries power. He has the knockout power, and he's also a good boxer. You know, when I take combination of both, and he still has something to prove in the super middleweight class. So I see him going all out there, fighting for his name and fighting for his career, with the hope that he might get another bite at the cherry with Canelo Alvarez. So I'll be going for Callum Smith in that fight. You know.
Times, brother, I do appreciate your take, and I also, support you on that because I think Callum Smith, the experience is there. He's been in with a proper fighter in Canelo. Baudelique, I don't know anything about Baudelique at all, but he's number one in France. I cannot really rate French boxing like that ever since I saw Tony Yoka dethroned by Monty Bakole, Come on, French boxing is a lot of hype, but not a lot of talent. But one thing about French boxers though is that they've got heart. So I think Baudelique will bring the heart, but I don't know if he wins. It's gonna be interesting. We'll see how it goes.
Absolutely.
So let's go to the next one right here. Ramla Ali from Somalia is, of course, our African sister, who is very hot, right now because she recently defeated Agustina Rojas. She's a master boxer. She might not be a knockout machine, but her style of fight is just something amazing. When you watch her box, it's like, damn, this is good. This guy's good for sure. So 6 wins, 1 via knockouts, and she's going to be fighting a girl called Crystal Garcia Nova, a girl with 10 wins, 2 losses. How do you think our African sister fares in this fight? And keep in mind that Crystal Garcia Nova wins, that those 10 wins that she has are all via knockouts. So she's lost twice. She lost one via knockout and the other one decision, but our wins are all not via knockouts. And Ramla Ali is not a knockout machine, so basically she's got to really box like she's been doing. What do you make of this right here? Should she approach this fight?
Yeah, people keep saying that a boxer will always win a knockout at his 9 out of 10 times. I don't know how accurate that statement is, because I believe that when you box, it's good to box, but you have to be defensively responsible throughout the fight. So, one clean shot delivered at the right spot might end the fight, no matter how good you are. You can ask Deontay Wilder in his fight against Luis Ortiz. You can ask, can go and watch Deontay Wilder fight against this, what do you call this guy, this southpaw guy. I forgot his name. The point I'm trying to make is yes, it's good to have the boxing fundamentals, the boxing skills. This guy's gonna take you very, very far. But it's also good to improve on your punching power sometimes because that might help you win a fight quicker. Yeah, if you ask my opinion about this fight, I've not watched this ladies fought before, so it's gonna be very difficult to make a prediction. Uh, I just feel and think that.
Let me just tell you right. Let me give you a hint. She's a master boxer, so she might not be perfect at it yet, but she's a master boxer, bro. And she trains with Manny Robles, former trainer of Andres Jr.
Yeah.
So Manny Robles is more into punches, right? It's like he loves punches, but the training has been going fine.
Yeah, if like I said, if she can be defensively responsible, throw punches and bunches, hit her targets continuously, there's the chance of the opponent getting one out round after round. Because sometimes you don't need one knockout, one punch to knock out your opponent. A combination of punches over the course of the rounds tend to accumulate and wear out your opponent, and that way you can get a stoppage. So with that, I will be supporting Ramla Ali because first of all, she's an African sister. She's a good boxer, and I think she should be able to pull the win in that fight, God willing.
Yeah, I hope Somalis though. Big ups to Somalia. There are a lot of boxers coming from there, so when you see one, you've got to really respect. Give them that because I don't think boxing I don't think boxing exists in Somalia, bro. Not a lot of boxers from Somalia. But for she to be putting Somalia on the map, gotta give her that, bro. Gotta give her that for sure. Before we go to the next one, big ups to Michael Buford for the super chat. He says, I don't trust Smith. Every time he's on Joshua on the card, AJ always loses. Bro, you mean Smith is a bad luck or what? No, it's very interesting right here, bro. Big ups to you, Michael Buford. Every time. I have to do my research. That's really true though. I have to do my research. I've never really paid attention to Smith's fight apart from the Canelo fight. I didn't really pay attention to some of his fights. I just saw him fight, but yeah, it's okay. But it is, beating up guys, that are way, less his weight. Because the guy is actually 6'6", so basically an heavyweight. He can be an heavyweight if he wants to. 6'6". Bro, that's come on, man. You're just bullying people. But it's what it is, man. We'll see. It's not by size, though. Rocky Fading showed that. Canelo, a small guy, beat up Rocky Fading like crazy. Now, let's go to the next one right here. Tyrone Spong versus Andrew Tabiti. We know Andrew Tabiti is our brother as well. Tyrone Spong is from Suriname. Was born and brought up in Paramaribo, Suriname. And of course lives in Miami. He's Dutch by nationality. Lots of Suriname are though. We know Tyrone Spong has been very inactive. He has 14 he's undefeated, 14 wins, 13 via knockouts. We know Tyrone Spong was also a kickboxer. He transitioned into boxing late. He was a kickboxer, a notorious one for that matter. Andrew Tabiti, everybody knows this guy right here. Only one loss. We know he lost to Junior Doticos. That was the loss, which was via knockout. And it was a very painful loss for Andrew Tabiti. Tabiti is one of those guys. I think he's the one that trained Joshua. He trained with Joshua, he sparred Joshua mainly for the Andres Jr. rematch. It was a good win, and Joshua got the win for sure. Andrew Tabiti's record 19 wins, 15 via knockouts, and just one loss. Clement, what do you make of this fight right here? We know naturally Tyrone Spong is bigger. He's a natural heavyweight. Tabiti is a cruiserweight. But he's very skillful. He's mobile. He's got that Floyd Mayweather style, you know? How does this fight end up, bro?
I fought Andrew Tabiti. He fought this guy called K Power Latif in Los Angeles, California. No, sorry, in Las Vegas. You know, where he actually weighed lesser than the guy in the fight, but he pulled the win. He won via knockout in that fight. Andrew Tabiti trains at the Floyd Mayweather gym. He seems to be a very good, slick boxer. You know, good movements, great boxing skills, and like you said, a cruiserweight. Tyrone Spong, on the other hand, happened to be a heavyweight. I recall he was supposed to fight Oleksandr Usyk in Usyk's first campaign at the heavyweight division. And for some reasons, I don't know. I think so, there were rumors about him testing positive or that. I don't know. I can't remember vividly. But he was replaced, you know, for that fight. Tyrone Spong is a natural heavyweight, but I think he's very inactive. I can't remember the last time he fought, you know. So, but I believe that Andrew Tabiti might be too much for him at this stage of his career, judging from my assessment of Tabiti, you know, what he did in the last fight I saw him in, you know, his footwork, his punch accuracy, and all that. It's gonna trouble Tyrone Spong, you know. But it's very hard to call because at the when it comes to the heavyweights, one punch can change the course of a fight. But I'm gonna lean towards Andrew Tabiti because he has the power, he has the mobility, he has the footwork, and he has great boxing skills. So,
bro, do you know how powerful Tyrone Spong is, bro? Bro, Spong was a monster as a kickboxer, bro. Knocking people out like crazy. You know, it's just that injury. You know, something played a part, and we all know what happened. I think there was also some drug allegations, stuff like that. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, he did tested something. He tested positive for a banned substance at one point. That was why the Usyk fight did not proceed. You know.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like that. First of all, I think Tyrone, not to say Tabiti is also not inactive because it's been long he fought, you know. So they're both inactive fighters at this stage. But Tyrone Spong seems to be inactive for a longer period than Tabiti. You know, yes, he's strong. I think I've watched some of his fights, some of the replays, strong. But will he be able to deliver the punches accurately and in a timely manner? Would this inactivity play a role in that fight? You know, those are things when you match that against a more fluid, skillful, nimble, fit boxer like Andrew Tabiti, who also carries power. Tabiti carries power. I've watched his fight, you know. He has a decent punch. It's good. It's gonna be a difficult fight, but I'll be supporting Andrew Tabiti for the win in that fight.
Thanks, brother. I do appreciate it. Now, let's get to Dillian White versus Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. That is actually tipped to happen. I don't know. The rumors are there. White is exploring options of signing with PBC, and we know if he does that, like basically the Wilder fight becomes easy to make because PBC fighters, they love to do in-house fights a lot. I think that was that is one of the things that affected the Joshua Wilder fight then, the undisputed fight then. Should have happened, and it would have been a different story right now. Either Joshua Wilder would have been called the former undisputed heavyweight, because I think at some point they would have had to fight Fury or Usyk or any one of them, you know. So, but former undisputed heavyweight champion is better than, you know, just having one belt or multiple belts. Of course, Joshua has achieved more as the former unified heavyweight champion twice, and aiming to become a three-time unified heavyweight champion. So if White signs with PBC, according to the rumors that he might, he's exploring it, you know. What do you think, bro, happens? Does this fight happen?
The last time I checked, Deontay Wilder happens to be a retired boxer. I don't know if that fight is going to happen if Deontay Wilder is still retired. But if Deontay Wilder comes out of retirement, of course, there's a possibility that the fight is going to happen. And it's going to be an interesting fight for us to see. You know, it's going to be very interesting. If that fight ever happens, I think Dillian White has got to knock out Dillian White 100%. There's no doubt about that.
Titans, brother. I appreciate your take on this. Guys, you heard it from my brother Clement Talumet. So, let me just read the chat, and then you can answer some of the questions. I don't know. Big ups to Prosper at Jokun. He said Anthony Joshua is going to win for the rematch at round 8. Said Joshua is knocking out Usyk in round 8. What's the possibility of that happening, bro?
Anthony Joshua, like I told you, the last fight with Oleksandr Usyk, what I discovered, what I noticed was the left hook kept landing repeatedly, and there was no answer for that, you know. So, which made me believe that they didn't really focus specifically on Usyk's strengths, or it showed like a lack of intelligence in fighting the southpaw. So one, Anthony Joshua has to deal with his defense mechanism. The very first thing, he has to be more defensively responsible. The secondly, he has to work on his pace, his pacing. He has to keep up the pace. You know, that means Alexander, if he's moving, he should. And when you talk of keeping up the pace, you're also talking about gas tank, stamina. So most of his training mechanism or method should, one, focus more on fighting a southpaw, which I believe they are looking into. Two, his ability to move at an increased pace. I believe in the last fight, if Antonio was able to double up his pace just by 20%, it would have made a lot of difference in that fight. Because in that fight, what I observed was he was waiting mostly for Oleksandr Usyk to attack, then he respond. You know, the few times he attacked Oleksandr Usyk, he didn't seem really had any. There was no real intention or no real urgency, or there was no intent to hurt Usyk. So if you keep up his pace, he becomes more defensively responsible, master the craft of fighting southpaw, or he doesn't keep up the pace, but he's more precise. You watch Usyk do what you want to do, become defensive and more precise every single time he catches or if he tries to come in. I see that just knocking him out clean. Because if you watch the first fight, except I watched something different, and the Justin wasn't really aggressive. Not really, wasn't aggressive. He wasn't aggressive at all in that fight. But the few times he caught Usyk, he was able to mark up his face. And especially when he caught him, I think it was around 7 or 5, with the body shots. You remember the commentator say, I think Usyk will have to pace around. We should have to move around until he hear the final bell. You can see that Usyk felt that punch, he didn't exchange punches. He started bouncing from left to right, until the bell. It was about a minute, no, about some seconds to the end of that round. If Anthony Joshua had kept his pace in that fight, you can see that Usyk was hot. If he had kept his pace and rushing with combination, he would have at least caught a knockdown in that fight for sure. In that round, sorry. So yes, I think I will have to work on one, how to fight the southpaw, be more defensively responsible, be precise, or improve his pacing, his footwork. And if he can do all that, I think him knocking Usyk out even before the 8th round. For sure, 100%.
It's funny, you just said something right now. Did you know Joshua countered Usyk? I don't know what round it was, but this is a clip right here because Joshua countered Usyk and Usyk staggered. Bro,
of course.
Let's watch it right here.
Fight where Joshua, it was just one body shot. And you can see the way Usyk
you see
looked.
that? You guys saw that, bro? Look, this is what happened right here. The right hand. Usyk got countered with right hand by Joshua. This is what happened. In round 6. Hand of, close to the hand of round 6. So this is what happened right here.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom. So Joe, that was, yeah.
So there's another dimension to this.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you're right, bro. Like Joshua, but of course you said he went to the body and he stopped going to the body at some point. But in this clip right here, Joshua countering Usyk, bro, Joshua should have followed up. Of course, Joshua wanted to box, so that's the thing. Continue, brother.
So in that round 6, I was thinking Joshua was going to up the pace and just stick it on him. Just use 1 minute, pin him down, and finish him off. So basically, Joshua was very reluctant. I don't know for some reason. I was watching the fight and I was wondering what's happening to this guy. What's happening to this guy? Why don't they take this advantage? And then in the clinches, you are a bigger man. You get into clinches, you are letting him off without the damage. When you clinch, when somebody is moving and you have an opportunity to clinch, in the clinches, you're supposed to do a whole lot of things, in the clinches. Be rough, get to him. If Joshua had delivered 2-3 body shots in the clinches or doubled, deliver some combination, he would have gotten Usyk out of that fight, or will have won for sure. But the judges can never give him that win because he was too reluctant to win. He felt like he had nothing at stake in that first fight. I don't understand the mentality going into that fight. Maybe he thought if he just boxed 12 rounds, he's gonna win. But if you make those adjustments, I don't see people talking about Usyk this, Usyk that. Usyk is not going to. The only choice Usyk has is to be irresponsible. We've watched all his fights through cruiserweight and the heavyweight. We know the style of fighting. If Usyk throw that into the garbage and say, "Oh, now I want to fight for Ukraine. Now I want to be a warrior," it might play to Joshua's advantage because Joshua is a more natural heavyweight, and the greatest problem he had with Usyk is going to have with any cruiserweight. Anybody below that weight class is the stamina, because those guys weigh less. So if you weigh lesser than someone, of course, there's a tendency for your ability to move easier is there. And if you now have carry some level of punches and some skill, so you're up there. So if Joshua is able to, if Usyk turn it into a dogfight, and Joshua is going to fight a dogfight, it might be brutal for Usyk. So, but if Usyk remain the technical boxer that he is, and Joshua corrects his mistake, it's sure going to be a closer fight than we saw the last time, 100%. there's a chance, a real chance of Joshua getting a knockout in this fight. You know, if he employs all the right tactics, he might even win on points. People are just talking about knockouts. He might do more damage, and the fight goes all the way to 12 and win on point. Never can tell. But let's watch. You know, it's gonna be an
Thanks, brother. Big ups to my brother Lekon Osagi. He said shout out to Ray and BBC contributors panel. Big ups to you, bro. I appreciate it. Kenny there says Usyk don't like it to the body because when AJ landed to his body, he moved back a little bit. Yeah. AF Recon says Joshua Usyk 2 fight reminds me of the lead up to Ngannou versus Stipe 2, also called Experts for God. Whoa, what do you make of that? Is it the same? Because I think Ngannou is an UFC fighter, right? Stipe Miocic is. Oh yeah, they did say Stipe Miocic was the better fighter because he was like more skillful and stuff like that. And the first fight he did win. Do you think it's the same, bro?
Like, can you say that again?
Like, a guy here says Joshua Usyk 2 reminds him of Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou rematch. Everybody supported Miocic to win due to the fact that he's the more skillful mixed martial artist. Because he did school Francis Ngannou in the first fight, and second fight people just went with him winning, and what happened was Ngannou knocked him out.
Yeah, you see, that's true. The only that martial UFC is different from boxing, and the skill level is different. Usyk is very skilled, he's a skillful boxer, but I don't understand and I don't get it. I don't think his skill is so much that Joshua can't contain. You understand? I just feel that Joshua had it all wrong mentally in that fight. First of all, asking people how he's going to approach the fight. Like, I don't get it on the day of the fight. Or maybe I also think that Joshua overthinks his opponent, or he gives them too much credit. You understand? Because the mentality you should be having to fighting someone like Oleksandr Usyk is like, oh, you came to London, you won 2 bouts. I'm going to send you. You came all the way from cruiserweight. I'm sending you back to that cruiserweight division. You after this fight, you won't want to fight at heavyweight again. That should have been the mentality. But he started agreeing with the fact that, oh, I'm fighting an undisputed cruiserweight. He's so skillful, is this, and then started doubting himself, asking questions like, oh, how do I approach this fight on the very day of the fight, and that speaks so much to the way he performed. He was reluctant. He wasn't doing much in the clinches. Yes, Usyk had good footwork. He's a good boxer, nice lefty. But if Joshua had increased his tempo by just 20% in that fight, he would have gotten Usyk out of there. When you hit somebody to the stomach and he felt it, you already see it in his face, he's moving. However, you chase him down, deliver one right hand, double up your punches. I didn't see Joshua even throw any combination in that fight. Yeah, people say because Usyk was moving here and there, but man, come on, at least for one. You can't see because he was moving on that there and then the whole 12 rounds. You can't have one brief spell of you throwing combinations or taking the risk. There was no risk taken, even in the clinches. He didn't take no risk. So, and that leaves a lot of question about, is it much about Usyk's ability or the person he fights? Yes, Usyk is good, but if you compare it to what Joshua did, it's like Joshua gave him enough room to operate, which I can only interpret as respecting your opponent too much or not knowing what to do. That's how I see it.
Times what I appreciate it, guys. Big ups to each and every one of you for coming on the live show to support us. Big ups to Lekon, big ups to Kende, Samuel, big ups to A Freak, and something like that. Michael Buford, Dos Santos, and Prosper Ajoku. So, bro, August 20 is fast approaching, bro. I can't wait. Stay tuned, guys, for most of my right here. God bless you all. Cheers.